Vlog! 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 Look at my giant eyeballs. Hey guys, I feel like a bit of a square today.
Alright, so this will either be at the end of my iPod video, or it'll be its own video. So, people out there, you may or may not hear this, depending on whether or not I let it in here. But, now I'm going to talk about my computer iDevices. My Apple devices from roughly the last 15 years that are iDevices like the iPods. So, first here, obviously, I'm going to show you my iBook. And I really like this iBook. It's probably the closest I have to my not pride and joy, because that sounds ridiculous, but it's the thing I'm most proud of in my Apple computer collection, because I have basically everything for it except the box. And I got this used. I bought it in, I guess, late 2006, early 2007, when I started college. I actually bought it off a professor up in State College who worked at Penn State and whatever. But anyway, I got basically everything that came with it because they were an Apple family and they kept all their stuff nice. So anyway, first here we have the documentation, and I really wish this would refocus. Alright, so here's the documentation. We have the read this first, where to begin, learning about OS X, because when this came out, this is from 2001. I don't know if this will focus, probably not, but this is from 2001. It's the first, this is the Apple computer that set off this look that is basically still with us today. It's not really anymore because they've gone to aluminum everything, but anyway, here's the software license agreement. The software license agreement for OS X, and that's 10.0, 10.0. The proof of purchase coupons, software coupons. And then here's the iBook Getting Started Guide. Shows you how to plug the wall adapter into the puck charger, and then the charger into the computer, and then your internet network cable into the other side of your computer, and then turn it on. Apple Computer 2001. Here's the user guide, which is actually still it's kind of whatever, but it's a user guide. So you got all your iTools, email, CDRW drive, DVD drive, iMovie, all your stuff. And you'll notice here in the DVD player that this is actually OS 9.1, because and so is this QuickTime, because until OS 10.1 was released, you actually couldn't play a DVD in OS X. You had to play your DVD in OS 9. So here's installing the airport card, because it didn't come with wireless. You had to actually install wireless, which is why it shows plugging in the network cable for the setup guide. But there we have that, and then here's Welcome to Mac OS X, and Welcome to Mac OS X, the world's most advanced operating system. This book helps you to start using Mac OS X. First install the software, then discover how easy it is to use. And this shows you, setting up your account. Look at this huge dock with 7 things on it. Looks comical to make the dock that big. Here's your old icons, circa 2001. So you have Finder, Mail, Internet Explorer, Microsoft, Sherlock, the control panel, QuickTime, and the airport dock accessory that shows you if you're connected to the internet, because it wasn't up in the top yet. And then here's a thing about, opening folders, all kinds of stuff. But then it goes into stuff. Here's a thing about Classic, where you can run OS 9 applications within OS 10 to help that upgrade, because it was a big upgrade from OS 9 to 10, because OS 9 was based on a different environment than OS 10 was, so it wasn't compatible. So you had to run, not really a virtual machine, I guess, but you had to run a OS 9 within OS 10 in order to run your OS 9 applications. And they slowly phased that out. 10.4, I think, was the last operating system version that left you use Classic. So here we have some software I'm going to show you now. Here's the accessories that I have. I think this is all that came with it. You have your analog audio video out, which is really cool. It plugs into the headphone jack, and it does composite out and left and right audio. So there's that, and then this is the mini VGA to VGA adapter to hook to a projector or something like that. It doesn't let you adjust the resolution or do anything. You can get third-party software that will actually let you do something other than mirror it, because by default it just mirrors the desktop. So you can actually extend the desktop onto a monitor with some third-party software. And then next here, this is my software book that came with the iBook. I'm going to try to do this with one hand, so bear with me. Alright, so here we have Mac OS 10, and this is, you probably can't read that, but it's 10.0.3. Next we have this, which I actually didn't get with this iBook. I bought it on eBay for a couple bucks, $2 or $3, which is the OS 10.1 upgrade CD, which was sent out for free if you had bought an iBook with 10.0, but it wasn't included when I bought this laptop. Alright, so then the rest of this here, we have iMovie for OS 10, iMovie for OS 9.1. We have the iBook software install disk, the application disk, software restore disks 1 through 4, and then the Apple hardware test. These are all CD-ROMs, because this computer by default came with maybe a CD burner. I'm not even sure about that, if it came with a CD burner or if it just came with a CD-ROM in the base configuration. But I know it didn't come with a whole lot, because it was 2001, and the fact, if you watch the Apple event, it was kind of a big deal in some ways that they ditched the 3.5-inch floppy drive, but it's because Steve Jobs wanted to look to the future, just like Apple now getting rid of the optical drive. But anyway, next here we have OS 10 Tiger, which is 10.4.6 in this instance. And I actually got this from my university through the student computer store. They were unloading these. I got it for some ridiculous, like $12 or something, because they were unloading it when 10.5 came out, when Leopard came out. So now I'm going to boot this up, because I feel like that should be part of this long video. So here we go. This does have an airport card, I should say. I should actually open this while it's booting. There's the Apple, because this has 10.4 on it. 10.0 and 10.1 actually didn't have that. but I don't know if you can read this, but the one I have, I guess you can't, but the iBook I have is the 500 megahertz version with 128 megabytes of RAM, a 10 gigabyte hard drive, and a combo optical drive, which is the CDRW DVD ROM, so I can play DVDs. That's actually one of the reasons I bought the 10.1 upgrade, that I could play DVDs that way, and because that's the only way to, or that was the only way in 2006 to install applications that you could find available, like Firefox. Now you probably can't even find that stuff for 10.1. But anyway, here we have 10.4. It's telling me my clock's wrong because the internal battery in this laptop is dead because I don't use it, so the main battery is dead and therefore the other battery eventually dies. But here we have the iBook logo anyway on the inside. I have Sidetrack installed on here too, which the demo's expired, but it still works. I'm not really sure what that means, but Sidetrack's pretty cool because what you can do is you can click down, you can set it differently depending on how you want it, but you can click down here in the corner, and then when you do that it opens the right click menu, which is just kind of cool. It was because I was coming from as a person who, the only Apple product I had ever used in my life when I got this in 2006 was the Apple IIs that we used at my elementary school when I was in like 4th grade. So anyway, so this is the iBook. This is, as I said, if I click on this thing here, 10.4.11, because I updated it to the highest version. Has 256 megabytes of RAM, the 500 megahertz PowerPC G3, like I said. So I think what I'm going to do quick here actually is I'm going to open System Preferences, and I do have a bunch of browsers I guess I should talk about while this is loading. You can't really see them, but I have Netscape, Internet Explorer because it came with this and I just left it on there because it's a classic, funny, never got out of beta thing. Mozilla browser, another version of Netscape, Safari, which is a really old version of Safari, and Firefox. And I don't know if you can see it because it's not going to focus on it, but I also have Pounce installed, Kevin Rose's social network thing that didn't ever last, and I forget what else this is. AOL Instant Messenger, and Audion, and iTunes, and VLC, and iMovie, and Windows Media Player, Abbey Word, all kinds of stuff, because I used to use this Handbrake. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Startup Disk and show you here. I don't know how long this is going to take, and this is already an 11-minute video, but I'm going to restart this. I'm going to click on OS 9 and restart this in OS 9 mode to show you guys what that looks like if you're not familiar, because that is basically what the iBook was sold on. It was sold on being a good Macintosh in 2001, which meant it was a Macintosh running OS 9.1, because OS 10 was still an unproven new direction for Apple. So in a second here you'll boot up and you'll see the older small Macintosh guy. I don't know. There he is, little Macintosh computer. And this is OS 9.1. And this computer can run 9.1 really well because it's basically the peak computer for 9.1. I think this was the last Apple, at least consumer level laptop that had 9.1 on it, because I think by the time the G4 iBook came out they had stopped supporting 9.1 in new installs. I could be wrong about that though. But it's loading the extensions down here, something that anybody that's used 9.1 or before is familiar with. And you know, here it is. It's OS 9.1. And there's actually an update. There's a 9.2.1 update, but I haven't been able to successfully install it on this computer or my iBook G4. So I guess that answers my question for myself. I guess the iBook G4 has... I don't know. But anyway, I wasn't able to install it on here. But, you know, here's OS 9. Down here's the tray, I want to say it's called, which you can hide. And it has stuff like your network connectivity and things like that. So, I guess that's all. I'm not going to push the issue anymore here lengthwise and make you watch an even longer video, so I guess I'm going to stop now. So this is the G3 iBook, 500 megahertz. Thanks for watching this. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to try to keep this section of the video shorter. This is my last iBook, whatever. It's my last portable iDevice from Apple. This is the iBook G4. I actually customized my Apple, and I have some stickers on it from stuff. But anyway, here it is. I'm going to just open it because, you know, whatever. But anyway, this is it. It's running 10.4 also. It has more stuff installed on it because I actually use it. It has, you know, Office and all kinds of stuff. So, there you go. This is the iBook G4, as it says. Has the newer font. The old iBook has the older Apple font that the original iPod also had. But, yeah, this has an Airport Extreme instead of regular Airport card. And yeah, and this is no longer it's no longer translucent. It's a solid, it's a flat white like the 3rd generation, 4th generation iPods versus the translucent milky white that the original iBooks and the original 2 iPods have. So I hope you enjoyed this section of the video. And the iBook G4, maybe some of the G3s, but I think starting with the G4, they included the square power brick with the wrappy plug and the little thing that plugs in here instead of the long cord by default. And this is actually a knockoff one that I got because this laptop didn't come with a power adapter. But this is the I want to say 1.3 gigahertz. I should just look. The 1.3 gigahertz G4. Go to About This Mac. I'm not sure why this screen looks so blue. I'm guessing poor balance on my camera. Yeah, it's 10.4.11, and it's a 1.42 gigahertz G4 with 512 megabytes of RAM. So half a gig of RAM, which is more than enough really for this. I'd like to up it to a gig eventually, but I just haven't had the desire to worry about it yet. So last here, before I leave you, is my iMac. This is a G4 iMac. I actually, if I swivel around here, on the floor behind me have a G3 iMac, and I want to say Tangerine, the blue one. Got the handle. It has 10.4 on it because I shoehorned it on there. You can't actually get it on here easily because it doesn't have a DVD drive, so you can't use the DVD for 10.4. But anyway, I put it in the G4 iMac up here and installed 10.4 and then stuck the drive back in that G3 iMac. So it has 10.4 on it. I plan to eventually set it up somewhere and use it for something. maybe a music server or something. I have no idea. I'll probably end up just getting rid of it, actually. But that's the G3. I'm not going to turn it on because it doesn't really matter. I have the keyboard and a knockoff but convincing mouse with it that color match to it. So this is my iMac. This is a G4 iMac. It's the one with the swivelly top that swivels up and down, and you can bring it way down or put it way up. And has a DVD drive, has a super drive which comes out the side there, or out the front depending on how you have it turned. I have it turned so I can get to the ports. But I have it didn't come with a keyboard. I actually got it at my university surplus, and then a week later I bought it for I think 20 bucks. I talked them into selling it to me. They pulled the hard drive and sold it to me, and then for like $2 a week later or so, I got this Apple, is it called an Apple Pro keyboard? Yeah, Apple Pro keyboard. Probably can't read that, but believe me, it's an Apple Pro keyboard, which basically matches, it more matches the bubbly LCD displays that were with the Power Macs at the time. But nonetheless, this is my iMac, G4 iMac. It's running 10.5. I don't have it upgraded because I don't have any hard drive space, because I had to stick my own hard drive in this, and I only put I think 20 gig hard drive in, and it's just, there's not enough space. But anyway, it has 10.5 on it. It's an 800 megahertz G4, so it's slower than the iBook G4 by a significant amount, by almost half. But it does have 768 megabytes of RAM, because it takes standard, I can't remember what kind of RAM, but it takes standard RAM. So I got it up as far as I could get it to 768 megabytes of RAM. I could put it up to a gig if I can get the right RAM sticks, but I wasn't really worried about it right now. It runs perfectly fine as it is, but because it has 10.5, I can get some slightly newer stuff on it. I do have on all these machines, or not all these machines, but the iBook G4 and the iMac G4, I both have 10.4 Fox, which you should definitely check out if you're somebody who has an iMac or an iBook or any Apple computer that is a PowerPC processor based Apple, because what it is it's a fork of Firefox that's specifically rewritten for the PowerPC processor, basically so you can use your older machines and safely go on the internet with a modern updated browser. So it's kind of cool. I like it. They actually make a similar product. I can't think of what it's called, but it actually supports the whole way back to, I want to say at least OS 8, System 8, something like that. It goes the whole way back, so it'll support 8 point whatever the whole way up to 10.3.9. Basically everything realistically that people might be using prior to OS 10.4. So that's kind of cool. It's a nice project. I wish I could actually be of help to it, because I'd love to support it some way. And then just last here, I have some software, more software I'm going to show you. This is 10.5, obviously. It's the retail box for Leopard. I actually borrowed this off somebody, and I need to get back to them eventually. And then Office 2004 for the Mac, Student Teacher Edition, that I bought off eBay, so I could put Microsoft Office on my stuff, because I'm a big believer, as with my operating system, or well, as with Windows, on my Macs, I'm a big believer in not updating to the latest version of Office, because who really cares? As long as it works, which it does, it doesn't really matter. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you got a little bit of enjoyment out of this, and if not, I'm sorry, but thanks. I'll make another video sometime soon, hopefully, and I appreciate your viewership. Bye.